Every real cowboy like myself knows how lonely it is out on the open range, which is why I listen to the Cowboy Boys podcast. With best contractually obligated friends, Shayne Smith and Mac Arthur, the Cowboy Boys will comfort your soul better than any disease-ridden saloon gal ever could. Cowboy Boys.
I have found the worst museum in all of New York City.
My immediate thought is that I will defeat you and find a worse museum.
Oh, you're seeing it as a challenge. Have you been to a lot of museums?
No, because I'm not. I like them. They're okay, but
they're like a great first date thing. You get to look at art. Some of it's actually pretty cool. Most of it's dog shit, where you're just like, yeah, I guess you glued cardboard to the floor. That's art, because you're a modern artist. You spray painted some weird sculpture that you just spray painted a basketball.
yeah.
Good for you. But then there's like actual cool art that takes effort. I get it. It's all money laundering for
rich people,
billionaires to be like, you know how that works, right?
Yeah, you have art appraisers and they're friends with the rich people, and then they have them appraise the art for an insane amount of money so that they can write it off on their taxes.
Yep, that's the simple way of it. But it is fun to go see some cool art sometimes. I think Starry Night at the Met, it's actually worth it. It's like, you're like, yeah, how good could it look? You've seen it because it's the Vincent Van Gogh one. That he's all like, ooh, I've seen it on TV and I've seen paintings. In person, it slaps.
Oh, shit, okay.
It's actually pretty cool. And the Met is worth it. It's worth its money. It's a little hoity-toity. They have like weird vampire events there at night where billionaires get together and like give each other awards. But
yeah,
they got some cool artwork there. They got some Rothkos, which fucking suck. Rothko is a big blowhard.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy. I think he's a Russian or something, but he has these giant like 20-foot paintings, right?
Okay.
So you're like, okay, they're big, right?
Fun.
And he just has like 2 or 3 colors that like fade into each other over these 20-foot paintings, and people love him. And it's like, fuck off. I don't want your painting to make me. I don't want to have to put my emotion onto a painting to then have the painting reflect an emotion back at me.
Yeah.
Like, wow, it's pink and brown. And it's big. Rothko, I'm officially calling you out. You're a hack fraud propped up by the billionaire class elite to sell shitty paintings. And if you're an art major, fuck you.
Okay.
I don't know, because there's someone. I mean, if you're like going to defend him, I don't want to hear it. So the Met is cool. The Museum of Natural History in New York is pretty cool.
They're never as cool as I want them to be. It's never like, here's George Washington's horse's bones, and you're like, whoa, cool. But it's always just like,
here's Hitler's mustache.
Yeah. And then it's never like tight, is awesome stuff. Here's a mold of Genghis Khan's penis he made.
Here's the condoms the Apollo 1 took up but didn't use.
Oh, on the aliens, yeah.
Oh, on the alien. Yeah. the aliens.
They had unprotected alien sex, as you would.
Yeah. Why,
if you'd roll the dice.
Why would you have protected sex with an alien for the first time? We know my stance on first time sex. How would imagine having Imagine having condom sex with an alien and you're like, yeah, it's all right, I guess. You're kind of slimy down there. You got some tentacles. No, it's good. You did good. And the alien's like, did you come? And
you're like, yeah, don't worry about it.
I made that face.
Show me. I already threw it away. I threw the condom away. I feel like you don't think I'm attractive. And you're like, no, you're so hot. I love you. All 8 of your titties are perfect.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm rawing aliens.
Yeah, dude.
And just transcending. I'm seeing through time.
You know what I found? That I had, because you have a bunch of protected sex, and then you have unprotected sex with someone you like trust or whatever, and you're like, oh, that's right, I can like fuck way better. Like it truly is like, in video games when you have it on easy mode and it's like kind of ruining the game because it's just like,
it's not fun.
I can't do all the things I'm supposed to do.
No, here's the thing. It is easier to last longer with condoms. which can sometimes be a really bad thing.
Yeah. Well, also, I feel like a lot of my attention is on the fact I'm like trying to make sure it doesn't break. I'm thinking about all this other shit.
I never had a condom break. I think that's a myth.
Oh, do you?
That's like
I'll fuck you with a condom and break it right now.
No, I'm gonna break it with my ass. It's not gonna be your dick that breaks it.
Dude, I've broken a few.
All
That
right.
sucks.
I bet.
Listen, it happens. If you, I'm like right in the. It doesn't matter. Listen,
Yeah.
it just happens.
Be a cool historical artifact.
What?
William Shakespeare's codpiece.
Okay, I like
That'd
that.
be fun. Do they still have the guillotine that France used to kill all the people?
I don't know that they have the exact one, but that would be a really fucking cool artifact. I went to the Museum of Death, and they have some cool stuff.
Where's that?
The Museum of Death is in L.A., and that's my favorite museum I've ever been to. No, I lied. It's a close second. My number one favorite museum I ever went to is the Haunted Museum in Las Vegas.
What's at the Haunted Museum? Is that where you
Dude, yeah, that's where I touched the Dybbuk box and then cursed us both.
I'm not cursed. I'm doing better than ever.
No, because I touched the Dybbuk box and then both of us lost the loves of our lives, among other things.
Is that right when that happened?
Yes, do you not remember? I literally have the screenshot of the text from you that is like a couple months after both of us, our romantic lives exploded, and now we are who we are now, which is not great.
I mean,
it's fine.
Financially, emotionally and financially, I'm doing better, but relationshiply, I'm miserable.
Yeah, romantically, both of us are just fucking awful. But every other way, we're doing great.
That's not a bad price to pay.
Yeah, there are a lot of men who have paid this price. I feel like it's one or the other. But I have a text from you that says, wait, did you touch the Dybbuk box? And then you asked me about it, and it's really funny.
Oh, wait, the Met? Yeah, I said the Met.
You did. Oh, the Museum of Death has the limited edition Nikes that cult wore when they killed themselves.
That who?
The cult?
Oh, which cult? Is it the seventh? Oh, no, wait, the Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. It has their limited edition Nikes, yes.
That's the kind of cool stuff. What about the gun that, is it Arbud or Elbud? I always get his name wrong.
Dwyer. Elbud Dwyer, I think.
Dwyer killed himself with.
That would be
cool.
Good.
That's probably somewhere over there.
I want Hitler's pistol he killed himself with.
I like Hitler's mustache better. I feel it's more rare.
Yeah, no, you're very well, no, because there could be several Hitler mustaches because he shaved the sides so much.
Oh, that would be just he's like selling his mustaches and regrowing them.
What about a movie where someone gets a razor they buy in someone buys him a razor in like a pawn shop. Yes, it's a haunted razor.
It's gonna be like a weird dad who's into Civil War reenactment.
Well, no, he buys it for his son, and his son is like, "Fuck, I have to shave." And then
why does it have a swastika on it?
Yes, and he's shaving his mustache with the swastika razor, even though it's like he shouldn't, and he knows it's a relic. But he's got to shave his mustache for a date tonight. Yes,
yeah.
And he shaves it, and of course, like all guys, he shaves it into a Hitler mustache before he finishes because it's silly.
Yeah.
And as he finishes shaving the Hitler mustache
with Hitler's razor,
it was Hitler's razor, and Hitler's ghost enters his body. So now it's a wacky rom-com where Hitler is inside of his body, and he's like, "Hitler, don't ruin my date." And Hitler's like, "Once I want to see the world."
But let's say that this kid's girlfriend is Jewish, and Hitler learns to love.
And exactly, she falls in love with Hitler,
and he learns the error of his ways.
Oh my God! And then when in the very end of the movie, Hitler goes, "Learning how to love was the key all along," and then he fades away like in the end of Harry and the Hendersons, you know.
Love heals his heart.
Yeah, love heals his heart. She gives him love's true kiss, and then Hitler goes away and goes to heaven or whatever.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it would be a good movie. Why doesn't anyone make these cowards won't make these movies?
We need one more, and then we could write the Hitler trilogy.
Oh yeah, because we gotta. Yeah.
We can't just make 2 movies of something.
Yeah, we gotta get a third Hitler movie.
Has there ever been someone who's just made 2 movies and they're like, "I'm done"?
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it's always like the third one is always massively terrible, or the best one, like Blade.
Yeah.
They're never on par with the first 2. They're either really bad or really good. Another great artifact from is it the Annals of Time? Am I using that word right?
Annals of Time.
Annals. How about George Washington's wooden teeth?
That would be great.
That would be
Well, they were kind of partially wood.
Why?
Well, they were wood, but there was teeth seated in them.
Why did you say it that way?
Well,
What's wrong?
because everyone says
I
his
know
teeth were made of wood, but his gums, his dentures were made of wood. The teeth seated in the dentures were pulled out of slaves' mouths.
Damn.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool artifact.
So it would be interesting.
Yeah. You were telling me, we've talked about it before. Didn't George Washington, his favorite cook was his slave, right? At the White House?
Yeah, Hercules.
Oh, his name's Hercules.
Yes.
Damn. And then he
Rumored to be the literal, no joke, best chef in Pennsylvania. They used to allow him, after he cooked meals for the Washingtons, to sell the leftovers at a little stand, and he would sell out every day.
Damn. That's like one of those fancy. You know, a restaurant's good when people are like, "Oh, it's 1 p.m. and we're done making whatever we made."
Yeah.
And you're like, "God damn it! I gotta get some of those croissant witches."
Yeah.
Are there sandwiches that use croissants?
Croissant witches, yeah.
Is
Burger
that a
King.
thing? Is that
That's a Burger King
But-
specialty.
But Burger
They're
King
very
doesn't
good.
sell out.
Sometimes.
Dude, do you think a museum has the first Burger King, his crown, his original crown?
Oh.
Who is the Burger King? What's his deal?
I think it's Henry the.
Is there no Burger Queen?
No,
Is there a
'cause
Burger
I
Prince?
think the Burger King is I'm not joking. The Burger King is modeled after Henry VIII, so he wouldn't have a Burger Queen on account of all the Burger Queens he's killing.
He's grinding them up into meats?
Yeah, dude.
I wonder if the Burger King is just all... Because he's kind of like freaky and weird and can't talk, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he's like that way because of all the incestuous...
Absolutely, the inbreeding.
the inbreeding that
What-
royalty has to do to keep the royal bloodline pure?
You know what they won't tell you? The McDonald's is the Burger King's jester, and there's a whole extended universe.
Yeah.
And the Burger King, he doesn't want you to know the truth, but actually he's trying to create an empire, so he's promised to marry Wendy, but he has to wait till she's old enough to marry.
Mhm.
It's an arranged marriage. It's very creepy.
It is.
So they try to hide that from us, and that's why we don't see Wendy in the commercials anymore. Where is she? Well, she's being groomed by the Burger King.
Dude, royalty's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up. That's why In-N-Out. Wait, Five Guys is the revolutionary burger place
Why is that?
because they're five guys.
Okay.
Just five homies, and they're gonna.
They could be five bad guys.
No, they're five. Well, they're five revolutionary guys.
All right, in your mind.
In
the
my
burgers
mind,
are
yes.
good. The workers always look miserable there, but the burgers are so good. That
Who
it makes
pays
me-
their workers the best? Is it In-N-Out?
Oh, I think In-N-Out does pay pretty well, but I don't know.
Yeah, I remember In-N-Out was doing $15 an hour, like when I was like looking for minimum wage work as a
Really?
kid. Yes.
They also have like 400 people in the In-N-Out working. There's too many kids. They do hire like exclusively children, which seems kind of weird.
No,
In-N-Out
I
burger?
don't know about that.
The
I
ones
think
I've
maybe in
seen-
Utah.
Maybe, but it's always like there's like 40 people running the In-N-Out, and you're like, why are there so many people?
So that they can do everything right.
I guess
That's why. Why
you know
aren't
what?
there enough people in Burger King? Is what you should be asking.
How about this? In-N-Out's French fries suck ass.
No, you're
They're the
wrong.
worst French fries.
No, you're
They're
wrong.
the worst French
You're wrong
fries.
by far.
They're thin. They're tasteless.
The serfs at Burger King need more help. That's
Yeah.
the reason Burger King fries taste so good is because the sadness is in them. You can taste it.
It tastes better.
It's brutal out there. The Burger King just forcing his peasants to work the burger fields.
Salt is like, you know how the secret ingredient to most food is love? And
Is that what they say?
yeah, that's I made it with love, and it's like, oh, it's so good.
Oh
That's
yeah,
a-
that's right. That is a thing people say.
I think that's salt, really. And then when you make something out of spite, that's MSG. It tastes so much better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When you use MSG, you're like, oh, this tastes evil. I like it. You know, you ever eat like a big old steak, and you're like, good. I killed that cow, and it feels amazing. I am the apex predator.
Yeah.
You know, feels bad, but sometimes it feels good to be bad.
I will say, I think someone asked me what my favorite meal I ever ate was, and I didn't have an answer for them because I have a weird relationship with food. I love food, but I don't love food like other people love food, I think. And so I didn't have any meals. A lot of my meals that I like, I only remember the people. I actually don't remember what I was eating. I just remember the good times.
Okay.
So But I was thinking, and I was like, oh, one time where I was actually eating, and I was like, oh, this is a great meal. Like the food meant a lot to me. Was the first time I had deer hunted, and we were eating. We like butchered a piece of him and ate it before we went home the next day.
So it was like fresh.
So well, it was fresh, but it was also like a really surreal, like I'm becoming a man.
Yeah,
This deer died and I killed it so that I could eat it, and like it was a very like for all the bad things my stepdad ever did, he was like in his lucid moments, he was like a very man's man, like this is how Native Americans did it, this is how cowboys did it, and this is how we're gonna do it.
Hell yeah.
And it was a very it's weird to balance like he was a genuinely evil person who like was a murderer and did all this bad stuff with the like he did give me like a profound experience that was so important that it like probably affected me for the rest of my life. And I do remember that one experience. It was really good.
But how did the deer taste?
The deer tastes fucking great, dude. Deer
Really?
tastes so
Did
good.
you just pepper and salt it up like cowboy style?
Yeah. Oh no.
Would you Dutch oven it, or you just cook it over a fire?
We had salt and
grill
like
it on the fire?
canned beans and stuff. Yes, and we just like skewered it and like cooked it with like straight up just cooked it.
Dude, camping
and then
food.
salted it and like I ate beans and fucking deer. It was just fucking great.
Camping food. When you look at it on paper, it just is like, oh, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Because it's so simple, but when you're out there eating it, you're like, oh, this is the best meal I've had ever all year. It's something weird eating outside.
I think the one thing, usually you're outdoors, you're cooking it and you're using fuel that's like actual trees and tinder and stuff from the ground, and that's affecting how it tastes. There's just something about being out there, like your brain flips a switch and is like, I belong here. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Whereas when we're here in our little box here in New York, I think there's a piece of us that is constantly trying to rationalize that this is okay.
You're right. We should move to caves.
We should.
and just cook plain meat over a fire. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
But I misspoke earlier. I said the Met had the Starry Starry Night. It's the MoMA. But also Starry Starry Night, the Met and the MoMA both have creepy billionaire parties.
Yeah. Remember I went on a couple dates with that really rich girl, and she was obsessed with the MoMA. She lived by it, and she would go to it all the time. And she was like very nice aside from some weird shit, but she was like I was like, can I go with you? And like she avoided it, and I later found out
she was embarrassed.
Yeah. She was like kind of weirded out by like the idea of maybe me ruining it for her, being weird or whatever.
Someone seeing her there with you at her fucking museum. That's why I like going to the museum dressed the way I dress. Just in my basketball shorts and stupid graphic tee.
Yeah.
And looking at art and just being like, oh, duh.
I know. I love when we were going to go on like this like group date, and all of us like kind of dressed up in Florida, like pretty nice or whatever. And then you were like, I've got basketball shorts on and a cat t-shirt.
Well, you didn't tell me we were going to a fancy restaurant in Florida. One, I didn't know fancy restaurants existed in Florida. Two, I have my little backpack. I had to carry around so much gear, podcasting equipment.
That you're making shit up.
All this stuff.
I travel in a backpack all the time.
Yeah, you don't take the massive amount of gear.
You
and
had a
batteries
separate
and
bag for the gear.
Exactly. That's how much I was carrying around. So I did not have any fancy clothes, and I just showed up. I borrowed one of your brother's shirts, which fit me pretty nicely.
Fucking liar.
I didn't have a single like shirt.
What would you have worn that's here right now? Describe the outfit to me.
So, anyways, if I had to go on an emergency fancy date, I would steal something from your wardrobe.
I was gonna say you own zero button up. You don't even own a shirt with a button on it.
Yeah, I do.
You have a polo?
You remember when you took that picture of that shirt and you're like, "Hey, I forgot I had this shirt." It's because our laundry got mixed up.
Oh,
and you stole my shirt.
That's
and we're like,
right. You do have no. That's not fancy. You're right though. You do own a shirt with a button.
I do own one shirt.
It's
that
a
has
flannel.
Buttons. Yeah,
it's a
that's
Vans
fancy.
flannel.
It's fancy to me. So anyways, the whole point we're talking about museums is I visited the worst museum in New York. I've been to the Noguchi Museum, which is cool. There's just a bunch of rocks and like weird stuff going on there.
That sounds cool as fuck.
It is. It's right in our neighborhood. If you're ever in Queens,
Nice.
Astoria. The Noguchi Museum. I've been to. Went down to the Sex Museum on a date. That one was more interesting than the museum I went to yesterday.
I would believe.
You
went to the Sex Museum on a date?
Yeah, that's the only reason to go to the Sex Museum. Is
Yeah,
if you're
no.
on a date with a girl.
You're totally right. Now that I think about it, what a power move, because you're just going to be talking about sex.
Yeah, no, and the Sex Museum, because you're like, ha, 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 but it's like actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Because they have like, here's the, it's like 4 or 5 story building. It's a small building in the middle of Manhattan. And there's like, here's the room where all the animals have sex. Look at these dolphins. They're gay. And you're like, oh, those dolphins are fucking each other. Those two
They
dolphins.
got gay dolphins?
Yeah, they got gay dolphins. And then when I went there, there was some weird, they had made a whole floor. One entire floor was dedicated to this one Japanese guy. I have no idea who he is. But he was like, oh yeah, I spent my entire life taking photos of naked women. And he had produced thousands of books. Like published books in Japan of like just weird erotic art, and then they had like plastered one giant wall with like easily 10-20,000 just like weird Polaroids of like naked women and like erotic stuff. And I'm like, damn, this guy is out there just he's so prolific, just pumping out art. And there's like a bunch of other stuff. There was also in the basement, there was a bunch of Sibians that people could ride, and I was just like, I don't think that's sanitary, but this is pre-COVID. It was
pants
different.
on Sibians,
I think, but some people probably
yeah,
were not
they
wearing
wear
pants
a dress or
yeah.
whatever. They're just going crazy.
There was like a weird booby bounce house, and I'm like, we don't need to do that.
Oh,
but
I would have been in there immediately. Bounce house, I'd have done a backflip. My date would have been like so impressed.
An indoor bounce house and a bit. So the Sex Museum had stuff going on. How many different things did I name? There were like 4 or 5, right?
Yeah, it sounds great.
There's 4 different floors. I went yesterday to the Guggenheim.
It's fancy name.
Are you aware of the Guggenheim?
I know the name. When you say it, I think I do think of fancy. I think of the Met, and like I think of fancy fucking. I imagine rich people that look like Bruce Wayne and his family walking around.
Yes, it's like, oh, what kind of art do they have there, right? Because it's like the Met has all the like ancient history stuff. It has some crazy. It has my favorite painting of George Washington crossing the Delaware, which is like 40 feet wide. The MoMA has like just weird, crazy art, and it's like, oh, that's a cool museum. The Natural History Museum, even though it's kind of run down, has crazy shit going on. The Sex Museum. The Guggenheim, you're like, what do they got hiding in there? Oh, it's more expensive than all those other museums. Because if you're in New York, one of the things you can do, I don't think it works for the Sex Museum because it's not like a public museum. It's just some guy who's like,
he's like, dude, sex is cool.
Yeah, but like every pro tip for everyone coming to New York, I don't think you need a New York ID, but you just need like an address. So you be like, you go to the museum and technically they have like, here's the suggested price. It's $15, $20. And then you're like, I'm going to pay $1, and they have to like accept it if you're like a New York resident.
Yeah.
And the way they check if you're a New York resident is they're like, what's your address? So if you just name an address in New York, you can get into almost every museum in New York City for $1.
Okay.
And that's just like a cheap, fun thing to do here, except for the Guggenheim. The Guggenheim is private, and they wanted today, I don't know how much it was. I thought it was like 40, but they charged me and my buddy $25.
Ugh.
And they're like,
because you could ride go-karts for that much.
Yeah. And that would be a better thing, a better use of the building. That building fucking sucks. It like seems cool because it's a Frank Lloyd Wright. It's his worst building. I'm going to say it's his worst building. Okay. Out of everything he's constructed, the Guggenheim is his worst.
Well, firstly, there's no museum on Earth that is better than go-karts. So let's just get that out of the way. In fact,
a go-kart museum would be cool.
I was just gonna say, but not a go-kart museum in the way you're thinking. A go-kart museum in the way that they've got the Guggenheim and it's a track, and on the side of the track is the art, and you can
what
race
do you mean
the
way I was thinking? I was thinking of
okay, I'm just thinking, and then you drive the go-karts around and look at the art. That would be fucking awesome.
So anyways, the Guggenheim, we talked to the front desk guy, and he's just like, this closes in an hour. And we're like, okay, how long does it take to go through the museum? He's like, it's like an hour. I'm like, okay. And because it closes an hour, they're like, it's the after 5 discount. So we're like, oh, sweet. How much is it going to be? They're like, they took $2 off.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever. We pay the money. We go in the building. And it's a big spiral building. And you're like, all right, we're at the bottom. And then the security lady was like, hey, you can't wear your backpack like normal. You have to have it on one shoulder or on the front of you. Because I guess someone bumped into a painting and scratched it and fucked it up. And they're like,
Fuck.
and she's like, do you got $30 million to pay for a painting? And I'm like, firstly, if I destroyed a $30 million painting, I would not pay.
Yeah, I would simply be like, yeah, I'll buy it.
No.
I'll on credit. I'll take it home.
Yeah. I'd just be like,
just have a Rembrandt or something in your house.
what are you going to do? You don't know my name. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Your museum security guards are probably the least threatening, just old people, like a lot of times just kind of weak. Have you ever seen a threatening museum security guard?
No,
Not
never.
Not at the Guggenheim. I'm telling you.
Never in general. Most security guards, bouncers are scary. Security guards are not.
So, the Guggenheim, I'm not kidding. We're going up the floors and we're like, all right, where's the art? Where's the art? Where's the art? There's nothing there. They have a few Picassos, nothing impressive. They have a few Jackson Pollocks. They have one Jackson Pollock where I'm like, oh, I recognize this painting. This is cool. This is a big one. Guess what else we saw? There was some photography thing sponsored by Hugo Boss, which is like, all right, you took some photos and there's like a hologram. Just nothing, kind of not inspiring. And I'm not even joking. The final exhibit in this in this whole thing was children's artwork from like the local school. And like it was like their macaroni like things that they glued, and they're like, look, children could be artists too. And I'm like, we paid money for this fucking to see children's shitty refrigerator art.
You should have broke the art.
Dude, I should have just smashed some children's painting. And they're like, sir, do you have the 50 cents to pay for that artwork?
Do you know what my heist would be? I would go there with my own artwork that looks like children's artwork, and then I would put it up there, and I would be like, I would switch some of them around and put mine in there and be like, yeah, I ruined it. And they'll be like, no, but it's art. And I'll be like, which one is the adult's art?
Yeah.
You can't fucking tell. And then I will have destroyed the art.
I guarantee they throw away all the art, the children's art, after it was that like thrown together. Like, look, it's children's art. It is a fucking ripoff. The building stinks. If you work there or listen, do not. I'm telling everyone who goes to New York City, do not go to the Guggenheim. I'm so fucking angry over $20. That's how not worth it was. If I would have paid $1, if I could do the New York City like trick, the museum trick there, and I paid $1, I would have still been pissed because it was that lame of a museum. And so we did that in 30 minutes. The guy was like, yeah, it'll take you an hour. We did it in 30 minutes. We saw everything in the museum in 30 minutes.
Yeah, nothing that made you take pause, wait, talk.
No, we're like looking at shit and we're like, oh, that's something. There's some actually modern art that's bullshit. Some lady got like a bunch of.
It's just like a chair or
exactly.
whatever.
Some lady got a bunch of boat ropes and they were like hung weirdly. So like thick rope. Yeah, there's like I think there was one there. I'm not even kidding. There was a piece of artwork that was like a bunch of carpet scraps on top of each other.
Hell yeah!
And I was like, oh, at least there's some art. It's not because there's so little art. Whereas if you go to the Met, you can't see that in one day, and it's like sculptures from ancient Rome. There's got like they just brought over a part of a Egyptian's what is it?
Obelisk or whatever.
I think they have an obelisk.
Yeah. No, I've seen because they have one in like Central Park.
Yeah, it's so wild, and so it's just like the Guggenheim. They have to be doing like child sacrifices there or something.
Dude,
it's so pointless. I'm so angry at that building. Go to the Sex Museum. Go to the MoMA. Go to the Met. Natural History Museum. It's a little rundown, but it's fun if you got kids. The countless other museums.
I've never been to any of them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm still waiting to. I mean, I was gonna go with my ex, but I was like, museums are. I would like to go with someone I like.
I feel like you're a guy who would fuck in a museum.
Yes, 1,000,000%.
The Met is where you fuck.
Hell yeah, dude.
There's so many weird There's so many. You can get lost in that building.
I feel like fucking in a museum is cool because there's definitely ghosts watching.
Yeah, absolutely. You might get haunted.
Hell
You
yeah.
should wear a condom in a museum.
Yeah, if you as you come, that's when a ghost can get in through your urethra.
They would.
They dive in.
It would possess one of your sperms.
Yeah.
And then kick the soul out that would be in that sperm. Because I believe life, your soul, half of your soul is in all the sperms and half in the egg.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of the people. Life is that a thing people believe? Life at conception.
Yes, there are people who believe that life begins in conception.
I believe that.
That the soul exists at conception.
I believe that.
Yeah.
But my stance, I've said before, is yeah, I'm going to murder that baby, so my life isn't. That baby hasn't been around long enough.
Yeah.
To ruin my life.
True. Okay.
So you're murdering a little baby, but he doesn't have a social security card. Get the fuck out of here. You don't become an American citizen until you put your feet on the ground.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So you better hope the person taking care of you doesn't have plans for the future. Anyways, thank you for letting me vent. I was so pissed.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Still angry about it. The Guggenheim. What a worthless museum. They should blow it up. They should demolish. They should demolish the Guggenheim. I wish instead of Tower 7, the Guggenheim would have gone down because it's so pointless and stupid. It would have been an easy demolition. The whole inside is hollow because it's a big old spiral. Have you've never been inside?
No, I'm just listening to you like I have no frame of reference.
It would be.
I've been in 0 museums in New York.
Why?
Because I spend all my time working. If I go out, I just do comedy. And when I go out and not do comedy, I'm doing guy shit. I'm going sword fighting or I'm going skating or whatever. I fucking just don't care to. Going to museums is like is something I would do with like if I wanted to like hang out and make jokes. But I hang out and make jokes for a living. So why the fuck would I ever do that otherwise? I would do it with a woman or a romantic partner.
Yeah. Going to a museum.
But like everyone I've ever dated has not wanted to do things with me, which is also indicative of why anyway.
That is true.
Yeah.
See, I date intellectuals, and we have very interesting discussions.
No, it sounds great.
I date smart broads.
Hell yeah, dude. Firstly, I'm happy for you. Secondly, I'll figure it out. I mean, listen, a lot of this is my fault because, like you, I'm a very particular person.
Why don't you treat yourself to a date?
I have been on dates and they've gone fine, but like a date to a museum sounds terrible.
No way.
A date to a museum sounds fucking terrible. My go-to date is just like go to the park. If you're not fun at the park, I don't want to date you. Spoiler alert: most people aren't fun at the park.
If you're not fun at a museum. See, it's even harder.
True, but here's the thing. If we go to the museum, then I'm going to be having fun, making fun of paintings and talking and stuff. And if I put myself in a situation where I have fun by having fun, I'm not sometimes able to tell if they are fun or if they are just responding to me funly.
If they're just having fun by association.
Exactly. Because there's a lot of people who are fun just to bounce shit off of. It's like I want someone who, when you tennis ball the ball to them, they tennis ball the ball back to you.
So you should go on a date to the DMV. Not even.
I agree. On my dating profile, it says I want someone who's fun to stand in line with.
But like you don't even have to go there. You just take her there. Be like, oh, by the way, before we go to this fancy restaurant, I gotta swing by the DMV.
Yeah.
And so you're sitting there for as long as it takes to find out if she's fun or not. So, and then by the time, if she's not fun, you can be like, oh, I forgot something. I'm going home. See you later, or never. But if she is fun, you can be like, by the way, this was a test and you passed. Now we're going to go karting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, the easy way to tell is, you know it as well as I do, if they're funny on Twitter, they're probably funny.
That didn't work for Rob Delaney.
I don't think he was ever funny. Was he funny on Twitter?
You know what? I'll agree with you there. He was very popular on Twitter.
But he might have been bad at stand-up and still a fun hang.
That
exists.
That does exist.
So that is one way to to see at least if they're going to be fun, to check it out before you check it out. But a lot of people don't have Twitter, and they're very funny. So
Dude, some of the funniest people I've ever met they don't even have internet access.
yes, 100%. No, I
just-
agree. Here's another thing. Some people don't. I guess it's not even if you're funny on Twitter, as long as you're not unfunny on Twitter. You're just like,
Yeah, that's a
why
real
is it like
bummer.
this?
It does get annoying when there's someone like that you like, and you're like, oh, this person's cool, they're funny, and then on Twitter, it's just non-stop. I'm not saying don't retweet a GoFundMe for someone who needs it or something, but it's just like, come on, you gotta do at least one joke every now and then.
Yeah, do something.
Just-
Tell us anything. Or,
just-
dude, nothing's worse than going on someone's Instagram. They're like, yeah, go check my Instagram, and they would kind of like had some banter with you, and they're a little fun, and you're like, oh, cool, and then you go on, and it's like. It's just a picture of them not smiling, just staring at the camera.
I like that.
And then, which is fine. Listen, I've taken those photos, but then the quote is like, if you don't like me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best, or just like, or it's a song lyric like, the fire inside her burned brightly, and Minnie could not look at it, but he had sunglasses, or whatever fucking
yeah,
awful
just some
shit.
cringe stuff.
Yeah,
Usually
it's too much.
lyrics from music you listen to.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Sing that shit. Don't quote it on Instagram, you maniacs.
Man. I hate it when I'm trying to stalk a Instagram girl and she has nothing but her artwork.
Oh, yeah, you're like, cause their artwork is so cool, and you're like,
Yeah.
you're talented, and I'm gonna like you, but
yeah, just post
do
one
I
selfie.
also want to fuck you or not?
just one selfie.
Lizard
please.
brain shit, just where you're like, dude, I do it all the time. Even with men, you're like, you go on and you're like, what do you look like?
Dude, I
Your
love-
art is cool, but what do you look like?
When someone's funny on Twitter and you're like, okay, I like this person's tweet. You can tell from their profile picture. You know what we need?
What?
The internet 3.0 needs bigger profile pictures. I'm tired of private accounts following me, messaging me, and then I'm like, she looks hot in 20 by 20 pixels, but I can't tell. We need bigger profile. I want video profile pictures.
Your profile picture should be a photo you have to take every morning to start your car.
Yes.
And it's always up to date. That way I can see you right now.
Exactly. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
That would be actually like to unlock your dating app.
Yes.
You should have a
And that's always your most recent profile photos,
You
the
have to-
photo you use to unlock.
It's just you saying today's date.
Yeah.
or
yeah.
like something that happened that's relevant.
There you go.
Holding up a newspaper.
or your dating profile is only ever one photo, and it forces you to update it, and if you don't update it within the 24 hours, it makes you like blank. It doesn't show you to anyone.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is a good idea.
Let's invent that app and immediately have it tank because women will not go for it.
No, yeah, they're right to not to.
Yeah, and yeah, of course. No, they're right about everything they do. There's women get it.
You know what? I'm tired of hearing people talk about power dynamics in relationships. How about the power dynamics in dating? Women get to choose. That's why when it's like women, you put yourselves in these situations. Whenever you hear like a lady talk about, and I get that leaving a toxic relationship is hard, but then I'm seeing some of the losers who are going on dates. Like, oh, I'm gonna date this guy, and I'm like, I wish more women would ask your male friends. Don't ask your lady friends, because your lady friends want to see you succeed. Your male friends want to possibly fuck you, but also have your best interests at heart normally. So they'll tell you if that guy is a weirdo.
I think it's when you say your lady friends want you to succeed, I feel like most women are yes girling each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
So that's not wanting you to succeed. That's just wanting you to like feel good in the moment, which is very bad.
How many times if guys are real with each other, where if I'm like, hey, what do you think of this girl? And I'm like, ew.
Yeah, we are. Yes, we do that to each other all the
I'm
time.
just like, don't do it. I want you to be fucking the hottest girl. I want you to have the best relationship.
No, it's just, and genuinely, a lot of guys are very good at that. Even when I was in a relationship and I was like, hey, is this thing weird? And you were like, yeah.
You know what?
It's weird. Don't do that.
You know what you should do if you're single right now? Test your friends. Don't get like an ugly photo, but get like you know what? If your friends don't know who Shayne is, send them a picture of Shayne and be like, should I date this guy?
Oh.
And if your friends say, if they don't know who he is and then they say no, they're kind of looking out for you.
Yeah, that's a good friend.
But if they're like, hey, you should fuck him, but then not date him, they're also probably a good
they
friend.
get it.
But sometimes I don't know. You need to test your friends.
Yeah. I will say that I am now later in my life. I am good friends with a lot of women, and they often purposefully ask me for advice that they say they didn't want to ask their girlfriends for.
That's good.
Yeah, which I always feel really flattered when they say that to me. And it's usually relationship advice, but sometimes it's also like work advice. They're like, hey, is this weird if I like, am I being a whatever, or because they know if they ask a girl, like, am I being a bitch? The girls are all going to be like, no, you get the bag, girl. You fucking go. But she's like, I want your real opinion. Like, am I being out of pocket here? And I'm always really happy to help in that case. Really cool. But yeah, I will tell girls, I can't tell you how many girls I've been like, don't talk to this guy. Or they'll be like, this dude did this thing and then this thing, and like, what do you think? And I'm just like, never. I can't tell you how many times the advice is never talk to him again. It's like, I can't believe you let him get away with any of the things you're saying. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, it's just this like this guy who's like a soft-bodied, pathetic loser.
Whoa. Soft-bodied, pathetic losers sometimes are really good guys.
But then he's doing other stuff that's just like, he I had a crisis with my family, and we hang out a lot, and I've sucked his dick, and then he didn't go down on me afterwards, like several times.
Someone who doesn't put their mouth on your swimsuit area, big red flag.
Dude.
Biggest red flag.
Can I just tell you, going down on someone and then not having them blow you is the biggest mind-boggling. Like, what are we doing here? Come on. What the fuck? If someone sucks my dick, I'm literally chomping at the bit to like get at their pussy, like throw it at my face. Let's fucking go, And then you do the reverse, and then they're just like they just leave you hanging.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
I thought that someone had asked for advice. I think it's on. We'll save it for the Patreon.
Go to the Patreon. You have to pay if you want help.
Well, no. If you ask us for advice through the Patreon, we'll answer the question on Patreon.
You're already paying. But if you're someone who doesn't have the Patreon yet, you should get it because you might get help.
Yeah, my whole thing is, I was just looking for that email. If someone looks like me, why are you dating a guy that looks like me that treats you bad?
Yeah,
you date a guy
one or the other.
You date a guy like me. You date a guy like Shayne and he treats you bad. You date a guy like me and he treats you good. That's the only exception. You're not.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. No, that's true.
We are both fixable. I can get abs. You could treat women. No, I think you do.
I treat women good. I'm just dumb.
You are a kind of a dummy when it comes to women. Where
you're
not a simp. Sometimes it's okay to be a simp for the one person you love.
No, you're right. Mac is right. My big problem is that I allow myself to be vulnerable in some ways, but when it comes down to like time to actually like
time to simp up.
Yeah, I never do. I can't tell you how many times someone has been like, hey, if you got to forgive this one small thing, and I'm like, nope, burn it all down. Fuck that shit.
That is fair.
Which I shouldn't do. I should, because people give me grace and kindness. I should like try to compromise, but we've all made mistakes.
I'm also a proponent of getting back with your ex.
Oh, fucking
people make mistakes.
I am gonna go ahead right now and say I'm very, very, very against getting back with your ex, unless one of my particular exes tries it. At which one I will flip my tune immediately.
Here's the thing: you only get you. I think you're only allowed one. You're only allowed to think of one that you would get back with.
Okay.
If you have two, you got a problem.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
If you're like, no, I could think of a handful. You're like, no, you only get to choose one true love, and it's one of your exes that you will think about on your wedding day, and when your children are going to college, and when your spouse dies, you're thinking about that person.
Yeah,
that's the one. You're like, oh, that's the one I should have.
Oh yeah.
Got with.
Yeah. Well, Mac is ridiculous, and if you're listening to this and you're thinking about getting back with your ex, don't. But if I get back with one of my exes, it doesn't count.
Yeah,
It's just one of them, though. It's funny because it will never happen. So I can keep my opinion, and I'll never be a hypocrite.
There you go. Schrodinger's ex.
Yeah, that's actually a good one. I'm against it till I'm not.
So, are we allowed to talk about what happened to us at the bar in Florida? Or to me specifically?
I mean, we can talk about what happened to you.
Yeah.
There's some other peripheral stuff that I'll...
Because it ties into what here in New York. So we went down to Florida.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel bad about this because we got ID'd at the bar in Florida. And I'm like, my ID has been expired for like 6 months.
Yeah. And you did not try to anticipate this?
We're in a pandemic.
No, you should know better.
Guess what? The TSA is like, yeah, we're in a pandemic. So the TSA people are like, oh, your ID's expired. I'm like, I know. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. You're going to, and I'm like, yeah, I literally scheduled my DMV thing, and it's scheduled 3 months out.
How many months expired was it when you scheduled this?
So anyways, it was like 5 months expired. But I don't care. I'm in New York. I'm not driving around. So I'm like, Florida, land of the free, right? Florida, it's the do anything state. We can jump airboats and shoot guns and wrestle crocodiles, and the women are beautiful. You know what? I got ID'd at this bar, and they wouldn't let me in because
bar for babies, by the way. It was an arcade bar.
It was a fun arcade bar, and they wouldn't let me in. I feel bad. We played mini golf instead. I get back to New York, and I've been to a few bars here. I don't even think I get ID'd at the bars here.
No, I've never in my life.
Yeah, this guy has a mullet. I don't care if he's underage. He's probably going to drink. Right?
Yeah.
Because I just remember being like, oh, because me and my buddy went to a bar, and I'm like, oh, my ID got rejected in Florida. Even though it's me, it's like, clearly, it's like, yeah, my ID was not, what's the opposite of expired? Unexpired?
Yeah, I don't know. Valid?
Valid, yeah, that's the word. My ID was valid 6 months ago when I was 31. Now I'm still over 21. I can still drink.
Yeah.
It's not like my ID expires and suddenly I'm like, I don't know. Are you 19? Did you go? Have you been through some time portals? Is this you? Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And I'm like, you know what? Florida is pretty fun, but New York, there's a lot of shit that is people are just too busy to give a fuck here, and you can get away with a lot, which is why I love, like, there's a big cash underground system here where if you pay with cash, people will just like round down the money and pocket it. They don't like It's all very like, I help you out, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna reject a guy and he's not gonna give his patronage to our bar. Anyways, fuck you, Florida.
That was weird.
I thought you were the libertarian state. One, why are you asking for ID? Two, do you care if my ID's expired? How dare you?
Is it a good point that it's like you need valid ID to get in? It's like that's not actually what it says. It says you need to be 21 to drink. You don't have to have a valid ID to drink. You need to be 21. So if you have the proof that you're over 21, it's like, what are we doing?
Dude, also, if you're 19 and you look 40, let that kid drink. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
His life's already hard if you're like one of those weird kids that ages like 6 times faster. I had one of those guys in my high school. I don't know what the name is. There's the one in the original D. Antwoord video.
Wait, what?
Old kids. Have you never had an old kid? You never seen an old kid?
No, there were no old kids at my school.
That are like, they look 80 years old and they're like 18.
I now know what you're talking about, yes.
I had an old kid at my high school.
He was a Benjamin Button kid?
He literally was a Benjamin Button kid, and he was like, he had the record for the oldest old kid.
Whoa.
I think he was 19 at the time. They don't live that long because they're old. I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
But let those kids drink.
Aging backwards would be...
No, they just age.
I know, but I'm just realizing aging backwards would be the way to do it, because by the time you are young, you'll get to live your life like at maximum capacity with your wisdom. Also, you know exactly when you're going to die, because you can feel as you get like way closer to the preteens, you're like, oh yeah, I've only got so many years left until I become a baby and die.
I never saw Benjamin
Do you
Button.
keep your cognitive function? Are you like a baby, a 70-year-old baby that just shits and pisses its pants?
I think it equals out
They
because when you get really old, you kind of become a baby.
Yeah, you get dementia.
Yeah. So
Benjamin Button was a weird one. I just remember I cried, and I can't remember why. I just think
you cried in Benjamin
yeah,
Button.
I did. I think it's because there was a love story, and I'm just a
remember.
big fucking baby, and any love story in any Hollywood movie makes me cry.
I don't think I saw it, but I saw it like on TV or something, and I remember in the middle, he's like, "Hey, I'm fucking this broad, and I'm 17, and she's old."
Yeah.
Or then he's like, They don't do the beginning of that where he's like, "Hey, I'm fucking old. Look at
No,
this."
they do.
Do they?
Yeah, when he's an old man, he gets a job, and they think he's an old man that's just stupid because he's a kid, you know?
Yeah.
And then the captain, the ship captain, is like, "I'm gonna take this fucking mentally challenged old man to the whorehouse," and he
Oh,
gets
shit.
laid by a whore.
But he's secretly young.
But he's secretly young. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if they think he's like, I say mentally challenged. I don't mean it like that, but they just think he's like
Yeah.
slow, like something's going on
You know
with
what?
him.
I think everyone under the age of, let's say, 18 is retarded. Just you're so stupid.
I love that you put the age so low. I feel like it's even higher.
No, that's why the age of consent exists.
if you're a man, it's 27.
Yeah, men, it's kind of different. There's a lot of dummies. Isn't that, you know about the bell curve of like men versus women in
Yeah,
like
yeah.
IQ, where
Women are smarter, or their average IQ is better, but
women's there are more women that have like an IQ of 100, which is the average.
yeah, a crazy amount more.
Yeah, women are just they're
But
they're
men
good
are the dumbest men are so much dumber than the
Yeah.
dumbest women, and according to IQ, the smartest men are so much smarter than
Dude.
the smartest women. But women, as an average, are way smarter than
Yeah,
men
yeah.
by like a huge margin.
Guess what? They're not as dumb as us, which is a burn on them, and they're not as smart as us. As another burn, double burn. we have the dumbest and smartest dudes.
They're like a character that's like an all-round. Like they have a 3 out of 5 stat on all 5 of their stats.
Yeah.
And then we have 1 stat with a pure 5, 3 stats with a 1, and like 1 with a 3. That's how you build a character. You fucking all-rounder, baby. I'm going all or nothing.
all strength or all brains.
yeah, exactly.
Play fun. Don't. No, I want a balanced character that'll live a long, healthy, fun life.
I know. I'm going to increase my lifespan, and I'm going to have positive emotional relationships with everyone around me, and I'm going to nurture the children I
Nope.
have. Fuck that. All 5 points into strength, 0 into charisma, and I'm obsessed with trains. I just fucking all that, baby.
Oh man,
Just burn out like a dying star. Dudes rock.
we do rock. So what has the moral been from this episode? I feel like there's a lot of stuff we pulled away. Don't go to the Guggenheim.
Don't go to the Guggenheim.
Ask your friends. You need to get no men or no women. Get yes men out of your life.
Yes. You need people who will tell you the truth. By the way, I'm going to go ahead and say it now. You did it and you shouldn't have. I will never pop my Guggenheimen. Ha-ha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to be like, what the fuck? That's
Yeah.
right. So
Maybe you should. I think we should. Dude,
should we go and then I will have another follow-up episode where I'm like, this place is fucking trash.
it'd be so
Just
perfect.
describe our least favorite paintings.
Do you know about the pine cone at in the rich neighborhood? What is that called? The
What?
New York
the
City.
Upper East Side?
No, the Lower West Side.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, I guess there's so many rich neighborhoods in New York.
Oh, it's called the. God damn it, the Vessel. It's at Hudson Yards. Have you seen that thing?
Yes, I've been in it.
My buddy told me that you also have to pay to get on that.
Yes.
And there's nothing to do.
I went on a date there, and it turns out I didn't realize you had to pay, and so I was like, oh, I'll pay. And her and I got to the top, and she's from Japan,
Mhm.
so she's not from here, and she like just moved to New York, and so she didn't really like know, and I didn't know, and we got to the top, and we were taking Instagram photos, and she was like, she literally was like, I was like, what the fuck? And I didn't, and she didn't know how to like, she didn't want to be rude because she thought she was like being rude to America by being like, what the fuck is this?
Oh,
But at one point I was like, this sucks, right?
Yeah.
And I was,
Because it just stares to nowhere.
and she was like, it's for Instagram? And I was like, I guess. And she was like, yeah, I didn't want to be rude. I didn't understand if you were going to like be into this, but this is fucking stupid. And both of us were like, fuck this place. And I was like, Tokyo is a Gundam, doesn't it? And she was like, it does.
Oh, my
I was
God.
like, fuck,
I
man.
bet it's free too.
Yeah. I was like, God damn it.
So much better on Instagram.
Yeah.
If you've been to the vessel and you took a selfie and posted it on Instagram, do not slide into my DMs. That's what I'm telling
straight
you.
up, I agree. Yeah, fuck that. Also, the vessel is right next to the train tracks that were turned into like a garden. The bridge, I can't remember what the fuck it's called, the whatever highway, and just take a photo on that. It's cute.
There you go. But my buddy was like, "Hey, do you want to go to see that?" Because he's doing all the touristy stuff while he's here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Nah, I'm not seeing that." He went alone, right?
Yeah.
And apparently, so many people have killed themselves at the vessel, which I think is really cool. That they have to. You are not allowed to be alone on the vessel. If you are a single rider, I guess, or a single person walking around the vessel, they have an escort walk with you.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's so funny. I love the idea that you can make someone hang out with you.
Oh, that is. We should both go, but then be like separate, and then just meet up and have
our guys talk.
Have our escorts.
We can battle. My escort's better than your escort. Why? What? Where are you from? Just like make them go against each other.
Also, an escort's not going to stop me from jumping off.
Yeah, please. Dude, here's what I want to do. I want to take my escort to the top and pretend like I'm going to jump and see what they do. Not fast enough, bro.
You know, dude.
Just run from your escort.
Yeah, try and get away. We could create a game to see who can escape from their escort first and like hide. You know what actually probably deters most people from killing themselves on the vessel?
What?
The, like $20 it costs to go up there. Like I wanted to kill myself, but I'm not gonna pay to do it. That shit's stupid.
That's so
I wanted
funny.
to be free. That would be a waste of.
There's so many free places to kill yourself in New York.
There's a lot.
People just use the vessel. It's so weird.
Well, I get it because it's like
surrounded by people and you want to like make a big scene.
It's surrounded by rich assholes.
Yeah,
which is pretty like that. I get that.
Go to the Guggenheim. That's the art right there.
That would be more artistic than all the, except for the Jackson Pollock. Except when you hit the floor,
it's kind of the same.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what Jackson Pollock's last painting should have been. He should have done one called Life, where he beat off onto a canvas, and then Death, where he jumped to his death onto one.
See, we are,
dude. I'm such a better artist. Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
How about a bukkake of guys?
Yeah.
Coming on your dead corpse.
Okay, I don't know. See, you
I just
somewhere else.
Wait, I just Benjamin Buttoned your art, and you're gonna be it's weird now.
Your art feels like you just want guys to bukkake you. You can do that while you're alive, bro.
No, not when I'm alive.
You're like,
then
no,
it's gay.
I'll be gay when I'm dead. It's not gay if I'm dead, you guys.
It's not.
You're going to do a fucking jigsaw where we think you're dead and we all beat off on you. And then you wake up and you go, you're all gay. You're all gay. I was alive the whole time.
No.
Do you want to play a game?
Have you ever seen the videos of like behind the scenes at a bukkake? I think it's like an e-fucked video.
I literally watched a behind the scenes where this guy was asking a pro porn star. I think it was Scott. What's his name?
That's his name? His porn name? Scott? What's his name?
No, it's Scott something. He's famous. He's the Protect Attack guy. He's the dude who's like, support the troops. This doctor saved my family. This police officer.
Oh, I know the guy.
Yeah,
He's like bald?
Yes.
Isn't that...
I don't know his name, but you could easily find it. Bald male porn star, and you'll find it right away. But he was doing an interview where he's like, yeah, when you come up in porn as a male actor, you start with like a lot of bad scenes. Johnny Sins. Why did I think it was Scott?
I got that. I didn't even see
Johnny Sins. So Johnny Sins was talking, and he was like, yeah, when you start doing male porn, porn as a straight male actor, they don't care for you, so you got to earn your way by doing a lot of like bukkake and gangbang shit.
Yeah, it's like
and
in a
sticking
warehouse.
around. Yeah, and he goes, it's all freestyle. It's like improvised.
Yeah.
So it's not like as organized as you would think. There's not like a producer being like, everyone get in line. Do you have your number? You number 4? It's like, it really is very freestyle. So he's like, most guys like get all crazy and they're trying to like make sure they're in the scene a lot. And he goes, the secret is to like get yourself hard, get in there, fuck her face for a second or whatever, and then you go and you like read a magazine for 10 minutes, and then you get yourself hard again, and then you jump in and you do it, and you do that like twice, and then you finish, and like you don't make a big scene, you don't try to like hog the camera or be crazy, because he's like, a lot of guys, they'll get in there and they'll overestimate how easy it is to stay hard in front of 20 other dudes.
Well, also, when I was going to mention, it's like homeless dudes.
Yes.
They're showing up.
Yeah, and so he's like, that's the secret. And then it was just like this dystopian view of like dudes in their sneakers, completely nude, just reading magazines, waiting to like fuck a girl. And it's
No,
like,
I don't think they all fuck her. I think just a few.
Yeah, no, they don't all. I mean, it depends on the scene.
What if you know what I think I'm going to start doing?
What?
I think I'm going to learn how to like paint beautiful oil paintings, but just like recreate porn scenes. So like it's painted, it's artistic, but it's just horrific porn scenes.
That exists 100%.
I know it
It does. There's probably someone doing oil paintings, Rembrandt level
Yeah.
oil, Michelangelo fucking Sistine Chapel level of just girls taking like 9 loads to the face.
Hell yeah.
You should get into it though. It's probably a good market.
I think painting is just a really good outlet.
I have a friend who
general.
did one of those paintings. She's like this incredible artist. She's a tattoo artist. She got way into oil painting.
Yeah.
And she did these oil paintings that are just like, they look real and they're so beautiful. And she was like, I'm trying to make money, but I can't. No one wants to buy my like
Yeah.
surrealist oil paintings that are like legit. They look like they belong in the Louvre. And then she's like, so I started doing fucking
artwork
commissions that were furries. Yes. And
that's where all the money is.
Yeah, dude.
I know some artists.
I started doing commissioned hentai, and now I like paint like fucking fur demons blowing out the back of like Ryu from Street Fighter because some kid is willing to pay $500 for that.
That's not even. It's like I knew an artist who was she was doing paintings and they were like really mind-blowing good paintings, and I commissioned artwork for someone else.
Yeah.
And I paid like $300 to like $500, and she was like, "Yeah, I know this person that'll be," and I think that they're like, "Oh, I make like $1,500 to $2,000 doing weird furry artwork, but is it worth the price of my soul to draw their fucked up weird?" It's one of those where it's just like, would you rather work 40 hours a day or show your asshole to strangers, or draw fucked up furry porn? Because you're gonna get fucked no matter what job, whatever you got to make money.
Yeah.
So depressing.
You know what I just realized? I'm gonna commission a painting.
There you go.
I'm gonna commission a painting with all of our friends, all of my friends. Because you don't know some of my friends, but I'm going to get everyone.
I'll be in there, though.
I'm going to get a bunch of people I love into a painting, and I'm going to have it be like the most absurd. Maybe I'll make everyone a twink or something.
I was going to say, why don't you just do a bukkake onto you?
It's going to be so insane. Just the most fucking dumb thing I can think of.
And you have to find like a Thomas Kincaid type guy who only paints wholesome paintings, but you come at him with an offer.
Yeah.
Because that's where the real art is. You're like, I don't want to buy the painting. I don't want to buy your art. I want to buy your soul. That's the real price tag.
Dude, but if I do that, then I can have this, and then I can give it to everyone for Christmas. I can give one to everyone.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
If you're in it, yeah, it'll be like the weird family. I got to think about how I want to do it. I just know that it'll be very absurd, absolutely homoerotic, and fun. Damn, I'm excited for that. Now I got to think about who I want in the painting.
Art is fun.
It is definitely fun.
Modern art can...
I'm also going to throw some historical characters in there
you
that
go.
I like. Fuck it. Why not?
It's your painting.
It's my painting. I can do anything I want.
Just promise to draw me with abs. I want my shirt off and I have abs.
I'm going to keep you fat, but you're going to have abs.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Got abs. That's just a power lifter now.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll be good.
Everybody, don't go to the Guggenheim.
Don't go to the Guggenheim.
Fuck the Guggenheim.
Fuck it.
It's the worst museum I've ever been to, and I've been to like shitty Utah
Mac's
museums.
A museum guy. He even goes when he's in Utah. He goes to the weird things.
Actually, there's some fun. I was gonna say the Children's Museum at Thanksgiving Point in Utah is cool. The Dinosaur Museum out in
incredibly good. The Dinosaur Museum slaps hard as fuck.
Basically, what I'm saying is it's so hard to fuck up a museum.
Yeah.
And the Guggenheim did.
That's brutal. All right, everyone. Do you know what's better than the Guggenheim?
What's that?
Patreon.com/cowboyboys.
Guess what?
We have content worth paying $5
It'll take you
for.
more than 60 hours to get through all that Patreon content.
Yes, and you will learn more than you would at the Guggenheim, too.
Yeah, you could just look up on the internet the paintings at the Guggenheim. Don't. It's not worth your time. But you have to pay to get our sweet, sweet, nourishing Patreon episodes.
Exactly. You can look at the paintings from the Guggenheim while you listen to us.
I guess.
Now you're making money at that point.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
even if you pay the $5. So patreon.com/cowboyboys. We appreciate you. You can follow us online. You know where to find us.
Yeah, I'm Dr. MacArthur everywhere. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter.
There it is. I'm Shaydozer. Come hang out. Also, review us on iTunes, maybe.
Oh yeah, we haven't.
We
checked
do
those
like
in a
those.
while.
Those are great, and they're important from what I understand. Yeah. Anyway, we fucking love you guys.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Don't go to the Guggenheim.
Don't go to the Guggenheim. Yeehaw.